It was time to celebrate the defeat of another primal, so I headed back to the Waking Sands. Marques was still alive.
Advance no further!
We have come for the one who slayed Ifrit and Titan.
I surrender myself. Search all you will. The one you seek is not here.
Conditions of surrender denied. They say she also possesses the echo. I cannot wait to hear her scream.
As Marques had suggested, I travelled to the church and sought the advice of the priest there. He told me to speak to Marques. Although he was injured in the calamity, he has a natural way with tools, and I helped him to fix a timepiece. It was a relief to do something practical while I considered what had happened at the sands. Later, I went back and helped return the bodies to the church to be buried. After that, I took Marques' body back to Little Solace to let the Sylphs know the news. When I got back to the church, Marques thought he was being watched, and he was right. Alfie revealed that Marques was in fact Sid Garland, a master airship engineer, and we needed his help because the Ixo and Coerthus had summoned Garuda. In order to confront her, we needed the greatest airship Eorzea had ever seen. Rumour had it that its last flight was north over Coerthus before the calamity, so we set off to see if anyone there would help us find it. The frozen land of Coerthus is overseen by the 4 high houses of Ishgard, who are obsessed by their religious war against the dragons, squabble amongst each other, and live in fear of the Inquisitors declaring them heretical. They were not keen to help me find a missing airship, despite the immediate threat of Garuda. The only person who seemed interested in helping me was lovely Lord Horchefant. I helped prove that his friend Francel had been framed for heresy by someone from White Brim Front and rescued him from a farcical trial. In return, he set me up with someone who told me the Enterprise was stuck in the Stone Vigil, which is currently infested with dragons. The people at White Brim Front weren't willing to even allow me near the Stone Vigil until I proved that their new Inquisitor was an imposter who had been framing and executing dozens of innocents in order to perpetuate the war between Ishgard and the dragons. After that, I was allowed to take my crew in to face the resident dragons and try to recover the Enterprise. Roving packs of flying pests protected the crumbling castle. We chopped our way through them, and the ferocious fire and wind dragons who barred our way. We eventually emerged at the courtyard of the back. The Enterprise was moored on the far side behind a massive sleeping dragon. While Alfie and Sid attempted to get the airship ready to fly, La Habra popped up to Marques' command. He made short work of his icy attacks. I paused just long enough to collect the fifth crystal before Sid flew us on the Enterprise back to Gredonia for repairs. Alfino seemed most relieved to get out of the cold. Maybe if he'd moved around a bit, instead of just standing outside, he would have warmed up. Continuing to ignore the fact that all my real friends were still being held prisoner by the evil Garlean Empire, Alfie insisted that we press on to confront Garuda. To which end, I was instructed to fetch an elemental crystal that would allow the Enterprise to pierce the barrier around Garuda. This wordy chap sent me off chasing a number of geese before I finally acquired a crystal of the correct elemental aspect. Fortunately, in the time it had taken me, thrashing deadly sirens and disemboweling giant spriggans, Sid had repaired the airship, so it was time to set off again for Kurthus. On the way, Sid's memories came back and I saw an echoing vision of his childhood. His father's obsession with Dalamud, and his own relationship with Van Delsen. It had taken a very long time, but he finally feels as though he has found a purpose in life, helping the people of Eorzea.
And it all began that day when I found my new home. I had forgotten how wonderful it was. The wind in your hair, the endless sky. The Enterprise was made for this. To carry Eorzea's protectors into battle.
And then we pierced the storm, and it was time to face Garuda. Sid noticed that the Ixo had brought Amalja and Kobold prisoners. Before we could work out why, Garuda was making mocking threats about entrails. So me and my crew wasted no time in taking her on in battle. She summoned gale force winds and razor plumes, but she couldn't face down our attacking strength, and we emerged victorious. She refused to accept her defeat, but I extracted a sixth crystal of light from her to complete my collection. Then things really got messy. Van Belsar turned up and effortlessly killed a band of Ixo. made Garuda even angrier.
Is that all? Is that all?
She flayed the captives and caused them to summon the other two primates, Ifrit and Titan, to fight alongside her. At this point we made a run for it. Van Belsar brought forth the ultimate weapon built by the ancient Alans.
Bear witness to the glory of the Empire!
We watched from the deck of the Enterprise as it easily consumed the three primals one after the other, taking on their power as it did so. If Van Belsar decides to unleash its power on Eorzea, we are in a lot of trouble.